Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 22. A sound of battle is in the land and of great destruction.
Now, Ukraine's drone attack deep inside Russia on Sunday has raised a number of big questions. How will Russia respond? Will Putin now resort to using nuclear weapons? Now, Russia has the world's biggest nuclear arsenal. It possesses approximately 5,518 nuclear warheads, with an estimated 1,710 that are deployed, which means they are locked and loaded and ready. Now, like the United States, Russia has a nuclear triad of ground-based intercontinental ballistic missiles, submarine-launched ballistic missiles, and also strategic bombers. Russia has re-equipped its land-based strategic missile forces with mobile Yars ICBMs, and also has begun deploying the heavy silo-based Sarmat ICBMs to gradually replace about 40 Soviet-built R-36M missiles. The Navy last year commissioned 7 new Borei-class atomic-powered submarines, each with the Bulava nuclear-tipped missiles, and also plans to build 5 more. They form the core of the triad's naval component, alongside a few Soviet-era nuclear subs that are still operating. Now, Russia still relies on Soviet-based Tu-95 and the Tu-160 strategic bombers carrying nuclear-tipped cruise missiles, including the KH-101 and also its nuclear variant, the KH-102. Now, beyond strategic weapons, Russia maintains a vast stockpile of tactical nuclear arms that are designed for battlefield use. And these include warheads that are deliverable by aircraft, artillery systems, and short-range missiles, like the Iskander-M, which has a range of nearly about 500 kilometers. Nuclear, however, remember, is the last resort, even though Russia has signed a revamped version of the country's nuclear doctrine, spelling out clear circumstances that allow it to use its nuclear arsenal. It says that Russia reserves the right to use nuclear weapons not only in response to a nuclear attack, but also to respond to a conventional weapons attack that creates a critical threat to its sovereignty and territorial integrity, or that of its ally, Belarus. The question is this: has this threshold been breached? However, if a nuclear attack on Russia was confirmed, then Putin could also activate the so-called dead hand, or the perimeter system of last resort, which essentially means that computers will decide doomsday by launching Russia's entire arsenal if the Kremlin leadership faces destruction. However, Russia has said nothing about this system or its updates since Soviet times, so its current status at this moment is unclear.
Yeah, so Russia is getting ready to attack, right? Yahweh Shai is putting these Russians back in that Soviet Union spirit, all right? Going back to Ezekiel 38, which we're going to get that. All right, so first and foremost, call hello, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the great millstone who teach in royal peace and infinite salutations to the elect that are scattered abroad doing this work in truth and in sincerity. All right. And, just coming at you with a quick update, quick lesson. Russia is preparing nukes, all right, as we speak, to pretty much make a statement with the recent attacks that have taken place from Ukraine that have hit Russia deep in Russia, which what it seems to be that they're using, NATO technology. And also you have news, which I'm going to play the video too, that NATO will allow Ukraine to join. Okay. So we're seeing all the prophecies aligning for World War III. All right. Let me grab this real quick. So recently you had Ukraine's massive drone attack deep inside Russia. Okay, an astonishing raid deep inside Russia rewrites the rules of war. Dozens of warplanes damaged. All right, Ukraine's high-risk strikes. Yeah, because it's high risk because if Putin wanted to, he could literally just destroy Ukraine. All right. But he's not going to do that because he wants the resources from Ukraine, That's why he wants the land back. But we're in a time now, ain't nothing ruled out yet. But Ukraine's high-risk strikes damages over 40 top-secret strategic bombers. All right, so this thing's heating up. Let me play this video too. All right. So, and then we'll get to Ezekiel 38 and Jeremiah. Okay. I'm going to play this right here.
Many people find it hard to.
Another fucking ad, crazy. All right, but I'm going to read that scripture we opened up with, Jeremiah 50 and 22, a sound of battles in the land and of great destruction. Yeah, and we've been telling you World War III is Bible prophecy. Okay, let me play this a little bit.
Says Ukraine will now join NATO. There's an irreversible path for Ukraine to join NATO, he says, which is Putin's red line, of course. Listen.
Well, you know that when it comes to Ukraine, in Washington, there was a clear commitment by all 32 allies that there is an irreversible path for Ukraine to come into NATO. Not with an end date, not understanding this as part of a peace settlement, but clearly as a longer-term commitment by all 32 allies. And we are building that bridge as we speak, with the command in Wiesbaden, with in Poland, JTEC, which is capturing all the lessons, and of course all the other cooperation ongoing between NATO countries and Ukraine. Thank you so much.
So,
okay,
and we're
that's
saying
clearly
that.
based.
All right. So now you see that Ukraine is getting ready to join NATO. All right, which will really ultimately be World War III. All right, because NATO, okay, or what it stands for, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, which is part of the beast, is a military alliance with a core principle. And I'm reading this from AI Overview. All right, it says it's a military alliance with a core principle of mutual defense. This means that an attack on one member is considered an attack on all, which you already got Russia and Ukraine going back and forth. So if Ukraine was to join NATO today, that would be World War III, because that would mean that Russia would be attacking all NATO nations according to the NATO alliance. Okay, the core principle of mutual defense. It says this means that an attack on one member is considered an attack on all, and all members are obligated to defend the attacked member. This agreement, especially Article 5, is a key factor in NATO's role in deterring potential aggression, particularly from countries like Russia. And that's really why NATO was created, was defense against Russia, right? So this shit is heating up. So all praises to Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, call Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. You know, things is speeding up.
This is
all right. So let me go ahead and let's go to Ezekiel 38. All right. This is the prophecy concerning Russia. Russia is a major player in this world war. All right. And you got these bug outs talking about how the Lake of Fire is not in America. These guys, Assad and other dude, Deacon Hakah and Brother Hassad, you know, going off. And then you got people that are co-signing how the Lake of America is going to be over there in the Middle East somewhere or some bullshit. You know, now is not a good time for that, because we're seeing how all the prophecies are aligning to what John the Revelator saw of the Lake of Fire being America, all right, being hit with thermonuclear missiles. This place, America, is going to be turned into a lake of fire, okay, from these warheads, these nuclear warheads that will be shot off, all right? But Ezekiel 38 and 1, it says, "And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesy against him." Right? Gog, the land of Magog, This is talking about Russia today. Okay. It says, and say, thus saith Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth. And that's what the Lord is doing. See, the scriptures tell you that the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. You know, so really Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, he's in control of all the kings of the earth. And right now what he's doing is he's preparing all these kings for a major war, World War III. And now Russia, what the Lord did is he put hooks in the jaws of Russia, primarily this guy Putin, and he's drawing him out to war. You know, this thing was happening in Ukraine and Russia is ultimately going to escalate into a world war. All right. And also, you know, you're going to keep your eye on Iran, Russia, you know, keep your eye on the Middle East, you know, because we know the scriptures say the least of the flock shall draw them out, going into these small hats. You know, the Jewish, the Israeli state, you know, the Jewish state of Israel ultimately is going to lead America into World War III. And what's going to be annihilated is America. Ultimately, America is going to be destroyed in this world war. All right, pursuing the Bible prophecy. And this place will be a desert for forever. Okay, it's never going to be inhabited by people after this destruction. All right. So we're seeing the prophecy of World War III, and we've been seeing it. We've been talking about it, but now every day that goes on, it's like you're seeing more news concerning World War. All right, and Ukraine joining NATO is a big sign of World War. All right. But Ezekiel 38:4, it says, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth, and all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. Yeah. And Russia has, I'm going to do a quick Google search. Let's see how much Russian military soldiers Russia has. As of statistic data, Russia had 3.5 million military personnel. All right, so 3.5. So they got a massive military. And then on top of that, you also have, let's see how much China has. And these two power nations are going to be united. All right, so China has 2 million active duty military, and let's just see how much America has. All right. America has 1.2 million active duty troops. Okay, and 767,000 National Guard reserves. So 2 million in total. But when you add America, or when you add Slovakia, when you add Russia and China, that's a massive military force that's going to be coming up against America. All right. And then on top of that, you also have these smaller nations, which it labels Ezekiel 38:5. It says Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them. So these nations, Persia, Ethiopia, Libya, you know, Iran, you know, as part of African nations, are going to be joined with Russia. And that's why you also have the BRICS nations. Okay. Which BRICS stands for Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, which these nations are pretty much joining together, you know, and making their own alliance. Okay. Which now there's a lot of nations that are joined. Okay, with the BRICS. South Africa, Egypt, Ethiopia, Indonesia, Iran. Okay. These nations are all going to be joined unto Russia. So what we're seeing is all the prophecies are aligning to World War III. Okay, which means that that microchip, the mark of the beast, is around the corner, and all these false prophets that have lied on the scriptures, Yahweh is going to destroy you, man. All right, the Most High is going to destroy you for adding and taking away to the words of the Most High. All right, but it says, verse 6, Gomer and all his bands, the house of Togarmah of the north quarters, and his bands, and many people with thee. Be thou prepared and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. And that's what Russia is. Russia is a guard unto these smaller nations. Okay? Russia is a guard unto these other nations. And Russia's arming these nations too with nuclear weapons. All right? So, hey, man, this shit's about to go down. All right? Let's go here real quick. This is Zephaniah 3:8. It says, therefore wait you upon me, saith Yahweh. Yeah, and that's what we doing. We waiting on the Lord. And every day that goes on that we waiting is one day closer to the end of this man's kingdom. All right, the end of the so-called white man being in power. The end of America. Okay. It says, until the day that I rise up to the prey, for my determination is to gather the nations that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them mine indignation, even all my fierce anger. For all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. And see, this is what the Lord is determined, bro, to gather all these nations and to destroy them, man. All right, this is Yahweh Shai's determination is to gather these nations and to ultimately destroy them. And now we see Yahweh Shai is working. Okay, he's putting in work with these kings of the earth. He's preparing them all for war. All right, and we just waiting on one major prophecy, which is that mark of the beast, which that's what we really watching. When that mark of the beast comes out, which is here, you know, but when it becomes mandatory, when that microchip is mandatory, shit is gonna speed up quick, like the elder apostle Tahar on down. The other elder apostles, elder bishops have been saying, this thing's gonna speed up. Everything's gonna happen quick when that prophecy is fulfilled. All right, so we down to the wire, you know, we down to the last few minutes of this kingdom. All right, and this shit gonna go down with a bang. All right, let's go to Isaiah 9:5. It says, for every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. Right, this war is gonna be with burning and fuel of fire by way of these nuclear missiles, man. All right, these ICBMs, bro. This shit's gonna get, hey man, and the scriptures, as the scriptures say, let the prophets be found faithful. Let me see if I can find that real quick. Yeah, Sirach 36:16. Reward them that wait for thee. Yeah, so and we have a reward. Us brothers of the faith that believe wholeheartedly, we've been prophesying. There's a major reward coming to the elect of the nation of Israel, man. And part of that reward is going to take place on this side, man. All right. Spiritual power, praise and fame, you know, glory, riches, being fed in the time of a famine, being protected, ultimately having the names of Yahweh Shai, man. All right. So Sirach 36:16, reward them that wait for thee, and let thy prophets be found faithful. Yeah, and the prophets are going to be found faithful, man. Here it is, you know, starting with the elder apostle Tahar on down. Brothers, you know, you've been in this thing 2 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, prophesying. And now we're getting ready to see all these prophecies take place. So the prophets are going to be found faithful. And that faithful, the faithful prophets are going to get a reward. All right. And we don't give a damn if you people believe, man. You got a lot of unbelievers in the last days. You got a lot of scoffers, a lot of people that don't know what the hell is going on, you know, and they think they do. Like this guy, Hassad and Deacon Hakah, and, you know, the Sakaris and the one body. Yeah, all these, all these guys that are doing their own thing, they're going to be found out to be false prophets. And then the apostles of Great Millstone, when the brothers of Great Millstone that everybody was laughing at and scoffing and talking shit about, they're going to be found that we are going to be found to be the real prophets. As the scriptures say, then shall it be known that a prophet have been among you. All right. And the lake of fire is not no damn river of fire, man. Okay. And Edom. No, the lake of fire is America. Mystery Babylon the Great. This place is going to be a lake of fire, man. All right. So I'm going to play this video a little bit. And we'll get ready to close.
This is a DEFCON moment for Ukraine. Air raid sirens blasting all over the country of Ukraine at this moment, warning of potential attack from Russia, launching long-range weapons in. So you see these areas here in the red? That's the areas that are currently under air raid sirens in Ukraine.
So everywhere.
That's
all of Ukraine, in case you don't know the map.
So that means nothing is off the table for Russia at this moment. This comes after Ukraine and NATO launched another attack on the Kerch Bridge in Crimea, leaving it in critical condition of collapse. And they did it this time underwater. Here you can see the explosion under the pylons there. According to reports, Ukraine's Secret Service, along with NATO coordination, blew up the Crimean bridge. The operation took months of planning. Just like the drone strike over the weekend, underwater supports were badly damaged at the base of the bridge. You can see here, this was the previous attack on the Kerch Bridge. The bridge is now in critical condition, undrivable. NATO leader Mark Rutte says Ukraine will now join NATO. There's an irreversible path for you.
All right, and that's the video I played earlier. All right, so yeah, this shit is getting, look at this, okay? This shit is getting real, all right? People think that war over there in Russia and Ukraine is dying down. No, this shit is not dying down, bro. This shit is getting worse, and ultimately America will get involved. All these nations are going to get involved, and it's going to lead to the return of Yahushua coming back and destroying this place, America, man, Mystery Babylon the Great, and delivering the elect of the nation of Israel, man. All right? So, hey, with that, call hello, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua. Lord willing, is edifying to the hopeful elect. Until next time, I say shalom. All right, major news taking place.